Good afternoon, guys. It is dkrueger from DK Fitness. We help people achieve their fitness and wellness goals in a fun and sustainable way through optimized nutrition coaching and custom meal plans. And today we are talking about Thanksgiving. It's coming up. It's right around the corner. And a lot of people who are trying to achieve some weight loss or have some sort of fitness or wellness goals might be feeling a little bit nervous about a day that pretty much focuses around eating a ton of food that normally doesn't fit into what would be optimal for most people's health and wellness goals. So let's talk about it today. See how we can still enjoy Thanksgiving, eat all the good stuff that we love, but not derail ourselves in our plans. So to kick it off here, I'm going to throw up something on the screen here that shows you what a typical Thanksgiving dinner looks like, along with the calorie counts for some pretty average portion sizes for some of the foods that you'll see on Thanksgiving. We've got vegetables dip, we've got turkey, both light and dark meat, we've got gravy, green bean casserole, stuffing, potatoes, cranberry sauce, all that good stuff. Some dessert in there with pumpkin pie. That all adds up to about 2,200 calories, which is pretty high. Now keep in mind that's an average big plate with a dessert, basically. Most people are going to circle back and get some of their favorite items again. So I think it's safe to say that you could probably add another 500 calories on or so for those second helpings. And then this is pretty much the main meal. If you're grazing throughout the day leading up to the dinner, or after, maybe you're doing some grazing afterwards, those calories are also on top of this. And we don't have any drinks on here, no alcohol. A lot of people are going to like to have some wine or some beer on Thanksgiving. So I know personally I can put down about 4,000 calories easily on Thanksgiving without even trying to do anything extreme. Just eating the way I want on Thanksgiving, 4,000 calories, easy. If I really overindulge, you can go even higher. So I know how that goes. Now I've got a list of items that I think are good rules of thumb for keeping it lighter. And then I've also got something I'm going to throw up on the screen here which shows just some minor portion adjustments and some minor changes to all these regular foods that can cut this calorie count in half. So what you'll see up there now is some simple modifications we can make to the usual Thanksgiving spread. Sticking to the white meat on turkey and going for something that's a little bit smaller portion size. Typically a portion size for meat should be about the size of your flat hand. So about half an inch thick or a little bit less, and then about the size of your hand. 3 ounces, that's going to be a fairly small portion. And then the gravy still gets some on there for the flavor, but just make sure that you use just a little bit, just enough so you can taste it. About a 1/4 cup as opposed to the 1/2 cup that a lot of people dump on with the ladle. And then see if you can track down some steamed veggies with some olive oil on them and some salt, as opposed to the really cheesy green bean casserole that might be covered in bacon bits or something like that. See if you can find some more basic vegetable dish and leverage that and get a really big portion if you can. And then also, if you're able to get a sweet potato casserole, or maybe bring a sweet potato casserole that doesn't have quite as much sugar and other ingredients in there, just kind of let the natural sugars in there do their work if you can. And then as far as like the potatoes go, if there's a way you can finagle it so that you can at least have a smaller portion, 1/2 cup or less, and on top of that, see if you can get the mashed potatoes that don't have all the cream and butter and stuff in there. Just regular mashed potatoes with a little bit of butter. That would be fantastic. And then another simple one, just cutting back on the breads and things like that. Instead of having 2 rolls like we had in the other slide, just do 1 roll, limit the butter. And then still, pumpkin pie is actually a pretty good option. It's one of the leaner pies out there, so if you happen to see pumpkin pie, I usually suggest people go for that one over like an apple or a cherry or something else. And then just scratch the whipped cream because it doesn't provide all that much value. And little changes like that can add quite a bit because, as you can see, this cuts down the calorie count by about half. And then from a high level, there's a bunch of other kind of strategies we can employ to keep things in line for Thanksgiving. And that is to kind of take control of the situation and see if you're not the one hosting, you can bring a dish and you can bring something that is going to be in line with your goals. So like I mentioned before with like the sweet potato casserole, making a lighter version of that and bringing it, because then at least you know exactly what's in that. You know that one you can load up a little bit heavier on. So taking control of your options and bringing something that you know aligns with your goals that's still going to be good that everyone else can enjoy too. My second tip is going to be take your time when you're eating. lot of times when you get a bunch of really good food in you, you're going to be tempted to just really eat really fast. And there's a kind of a delay between when your stomach actually has enough food in it and your brain actually recognizes the fact that you are full. So when you take your time to eat slower, you actually get full, and your caloric consumption is going to be less if you eat slower. When all other variables are kept the same, just the fact that you eat slower will lead to you consuming less calories. And then there's a lot of 5Ks and turkey trots and things like that out there around Thanksgiving. Maybe sign up for something. If you don't have anything going on Black Friday, the day afterwards, it's a great time to put some of those calories to good use. Find a turkey trot, get a workout in, do something productive with all the calories you consumed, because it's going to take a little bit of time for your body to actually store food as fat. If you overeat on Thursday, it's not going to automatically be stored as fat by midnight. You've got a few days there where you can use those calories effectively. So if you can get up and do something active and burn a bunch of calories on Friday, that's going to help things quite a bit. And then also Thanksgiving Eve, the night before Thanksgiving, Wednesday evening before Thanksgiving. A lot of people like to get a head start on the long weekend and go out for some drinks. Nothing wrong with that, but keep in mind, that's kind of starting Thanksgiving early as far as the calorie consumption portion is concerned, so maybe try to go lighter there. Make sure you don't have a ton of drinks, stick to wine, light beer, mixed drinks with 0-calorie mixers. Try not to consume a bunch of liquid calories 12 hours before you consume a big heaping plate of potatoes and gravy and stuff like that. That's kind of, it's not really necessary. So when doing the Thanksgiving Eve thing, try to keep it reasonable. Another one that I like to promote, not just for Thanksgiving, but all the time when we're trying to keep control of our calories, is make getting your fiber in a priority. Seek out high fiber carb sources, because the fiber is going to do two things for you. One, it's going to fill you up, so you actually feel satiated sooner. And two, it's going to slow down the rate of digestion of the carbohydrates that it's in and reduce the intensity of the insulin spike that you get from that. So whenever you see vegetable casseroles or whole wheat options or things that are going to be higher fiber, those are always going to be a better option, because you're actually going to get full, you're going to consume less calories, and the metabolic response by your body is going to be more desirable. So that is always a good rule of thumb, not just on Thanksgiving. And like I mentioned before, the turkey, just go for the lean stuff. If you guys do ham on Thanksgiving, that's fine too. But if you're at Thanksgiving dinner and you've got the dark meat and the light meat, go for the leaner, light meat, skip the skin. And last but not least, obviously, if you've watched DK Fitness content before, you're going to get the idea that we love eating food and we don't like to exclude things. So the most important thing I like to tell people is, the last thing you want to do is eat a bunch of food on Thanksgiving that's not really in line with your goals and feel guilty about it. That's like the worst combination. What we at least want to do is we do want to enjoy it. We want to understand the fact that it's not going to happen every day. It's a big part of our culture, and we should enjoy it, and we should be able to have a little bit too much and still enjoy it, and know that since it's not an everyday thing, it's a periodic celebration, that it's not going to drastically impact our goals. It's kind of like the 80-20 rule. What you're doing 80% of the time is going to be dictating your results. So it's not Thanksgiving 80% of the time. So if you are on point with your goals and doing things that are in line with your goals most of the time, when a day like Thanksgiving pops up, it's not going to completely ruin you. You are going to see some pounds show up on the scale from water retention, but one day of indulging on Thanksgiving is not going to derail you. Just like one day of eating salads is not going to make you super skinny, one day of Thanksgiving is not going to make you backtrack a bunch. It's deceiving because of the scale. Your body's going to retain water, and that's just what it does, but water comes and goes. So those 4 or 5 pounds you see come on in one day from Thanksgiving are pretty much water and glycogen retention. You didn't store 4 or 5 pounds of fat, I can assure you. So the most important thing, enjoy Thanksgiving. Use these tips and tricks to try to keep it fairly lean, so you don't completely overdo it and feel crummy, but still enjoy all the good foods, and make sure to get some workouts in and just focus on the stuff that matters: lean proteins, fiber, and enjoy yourself. So I hope this helps you guys navigate the Thanksgiving holiday. It's coming up soon here, so I hope this gives you a little bit of peace of mind going into it. If you've got any other questions about tips and tricks for Thanksgiving or anything nutrition oriented, shoot me an email, dkrueger@dkruegerfit.com. And if you guys have questions about our one-on-one coaching, if you want to really dial this stuff in a customized way once and for all, shoot me an email, dkrueger@dkruegerfit.com, and we will get you started. I will see you guys in the next video.